What's going on, the Copywriting Call podcast? Your boy Luso 2.0, the copy got himself. And today we're talking about four things that you should focus that you should wait. It says focus on selling a product that has these four things. So you want to four things you want to focus on when you're selling a product. All right. Ooh, I know I look a little rough. I've been up since 5 a.m. today, yo. I'm just telling you guys, I'm ecstatic. Yesterday was one of my hardest days so far at my job, right? Just another day where a fire happened and an emergency happened and I had to switch things around and do things. Stuff is always happening. Life is always happening. Stressed me out. Ended up having to cover someone else's store, which, if you guys know in my position, you don't really cover stores no more. It's really about just coaching and visiting different stores. But yeah, had to cover store and all that stuff. A lot of things happened, but listen, I got the problem solved. I figured it out. Today I'm getting the coverage figured out, stuff like that. I was stressed out to the bone. I mean, so stressed out where I came home and the first thing I did was lay my head down and go to sleep. Wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., typing away, finished my book today. Another great definitely thing that happened as well, though. And now I figured this stuff out. Feel good about that. Hire somebody else. Felt good about that. Got my book finished today and got in contact with a publisher today as well, guys. Life is great. Life is good. I'm loving every single moment of it. My wife too, also supportive, helping me as well. Like, okay, let's do some firing, let's do some hiring events. Let me look at us like that. Trying to help me out and assist me with my job as well, because we're a team. That's the biggest thing that I love about me and my wife. We are a team together. We both are trying to grow. We both are trying to help each other out in the best way as possible. It really felt good today. I just feel good. Like, I feel like I'm rejuvenated. My energy is back. I'm hungry. I was getting drained a little bit, but I had to. When you're drained and you're going back down, you have to just get back to the basics, right? That's one of the things that I noticed. You have to just, when you're feeling like low, feeling bad, you want to just take a deep breath and get back to the basics. And at the basics today meant getting up, working on my business for an hour, actually over an hour. It's 7 o'clock right now. For 2 hours straight, I was typing away at the book. Got up, boom, let me knock on my podcast episodes. I'm gonna do 3 episodes straight, then go send them out throughout the day, whatever I gotta do. And then, get back to, doing my other stuff on one routine. Feels good, right? I'm thinking about going to bed at 10 o'clock every night now, waking up early, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, because it's like, this is when you're the most productive, right? It really is. Like, and I'm gonna get to the part that I was talking about, but I really just thought about this. This is when you're the most productive, right? When you wake up in the morning, because when you wake up in the morning, especially as a man, right? And it's funny, that thing. Remember, I was talking about you guys about the idea of sexual transmutation. When you're creative energy, whenever you're in a mood, you kind of have more creative energy. So you want to take that creative energy and, do something with it. When's the time when you're mostly in the mood, right? Is the morning, right? It's like, it's called, people say it's funny, people call it morning wood or whatever, right? So it's like, you're in the morning, that's when you're the most productive. You have the most energy. So I'm waking up in the morning and I'm typing right away and feel like it feels good. And I'm just like, all my energy was coming out. I'm typing the book, I'm reading it as I go. I'm like, wow, this stuff is some good stuff, man. I'm excited for life. I know you guys are too. Let's get it, right? So, like I said, there are 4 types of things to focus on when selling a product. First one is solve a pressing problem your list has. This is something that I actually learned from one of the people that I interviewed in one of my things, Kendrick. He was telling me the idea of like, yo, you don't even have to focus on what you do or product. Just focus on a problem that you're trying to solve. That's all you got to do is focus on the problem you're trying to solve. And I was thinking about the problem. It's just like my content. I was just randomly posting content, right? And then when I was randomly posting content, I came across the idea that like people have a pressing problem, right? People are always saying, I had people reach out to me, yo, I love your content. I had people reaching out to me saying stuff like, yo, you are like, how do I become like you, right? Like, how do I start to do good in life and stuff? And it's just like, it's a hard concept because it's not something that you can just teach, right? You can't teach someone how to be good in life. But then I was thinking like, yo, what did I do, right? My pressing problem that I did was I was really hard on myself. I kept feeling like I had to just do better, do better, do better. I just kept feeling like I had to do that. So I was like, what is it that I do, right? I achieved in 1 year what it most takes me people 3 to 4 years to achieve. And it's something I didn't even notice at first. At first I was like, yo, this is tough, this and third. I'm going through all these things. But then I sat back and thought, I'm like, yo, I'm actually doing it, right? Like I'm actually teaching people, and not even just people, right? People who are coming, young African-American men coming from low income households, like we in the hood and stuff like that. Well, not no more, but was in the hood and everything. I'm teaching them how to get in 1 year what it takes most people to achieve in 3 to 4 years. Like, I mean, I got my own crib. I'm married to the woman of my dreams. I have a job making 6 figures. I have a business, which it's not real lucrative for me right now because my job bringing in the money, but it's building a strong foundation to be more lucrative in the future. And I'm helping people as well. Like I said, it's growing so fast. I just finished my book this morning, yo. And the thing is like this, just got in contact with a publisher today too as well. Like I'm moving forward. And this is what your product should do. Don't focus on, what product should sell. Should I sell shoes or should I sell? No, focus on a problem, a pressing problem that your list has, and solve it. That's all your product does. And you also want, and a second thing, right? The second thing that you want to do is it high quality, right? So there's remember I told you there's 2 types of things, right? There's people that post stuff consistently, and there's people who are good, right? There's talented people and there's consistent people, right? The consistent people always outbeat the talented people because the consistent people become talented by continuously doing it every single time. So the quality of your product is going to grow. Excuse me. The quality of your product is going to grow the more consistent you are with it. The more you, like for me, the more podcasts I make, the more quality they are. The more, times I write my blog posts, the better they are. The more better they flow and stuff like that. The more books I write, the better my books will get. The first one might not be the best, but it's really what comes from the heart, right? So it's like it's going to become high quality as you consistently do it. Do you know how long it takes? I just posted this today, right? Do you know how long it takes for someone to master their craft? 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours is equivalent to 10 years. It takes someone 10 years to master their craft. 10 years. So are you willing to put in work for 10 years to do that? Exactly. So focus on products that focus on selling products that solve a problem your list has. 2, are high quality. 3, are overlooked, right? People may look at these little short videos made off of an iPad and not know freaking Sony camera or something crazy is like, these are not even that good, right? It's overlooked, but it's like, or a newsletter, like people might not even think a newsletter is that much. I actually got a sell this month on my newsletter, right? Made $10. Sold me $10. I gave him a newsletter. He said, just appreciate you for, having me on podcast. This is what you did, this and third. I'm helping people. The money is finding its way to me. I'm not going and searching for it. I just said, hey, listen, this is actually free. I give them free. I was like, this is a free newsletter I'm giving out to people who get interviewed on my podcast. Boom. You know what I mean? It's $10 a month for people that want to subscribe. Here's just $10 just for that. It's just about that. It's not like, like that. It's an overlooked product, but it's just like it made the money back. And the fourth thing is have great stories behind them. So you want to have a pressing problem you solve, high quality, overlooked, and then have great stories behind it. What is a better product? And I look at myself as a product or service as well, because I'm persuading people, I'm influencing. My stuff is my brand. This is what I'm selling, right? What's a better story than a young man who was, cut from the basketball team, a young man who was dubbed by every woman that he talked to, a young man who, was depressed, a young man who literally lived with roaches and mice, a young man who was, homeless, living out of motels, a young man who was sleeping out of a car, a young man who, was obese at a point, a young man who literally all these things happened at one time, you know what I mean? Got abandoned for a month, a young man who, father didn't claim him anymore, who all of this stuff comes up, and this young man then achieves in 1 year what his parents, and no offense to, them, they did the best that they knew how to do, achieved more than his parents did in their entire life in 1 year. What is a better story than that? Tell a story behind your product or service. Your brand is a story. People want to listen to the hardships. They want to see that you are human. They want to see Superman has the kryptonite. You have to be the one to prove it. You have to be the one to show it. right? So solve a pressing problem that your list has. Make sure it's high quality, be consistent with it. Do it even if it is overlooked, and most of all, have a great story behind it. That's really what I want to talk about today, y'all. I want you guys to keep killing the day. And just remember, most anything, you pray for success like this. 2.0 out.